Hi, it's Tracy Evans. I'm back with a step-by-step for Craft Stash using their Bird on a Branch die, DIOB0113. I will add the code at the bottom of the description of the video. We're making this card, and I began by die cutting the Bird on a Branch from thick card. And I didn't use the die cut, I actually used the aperture. I began by drawing a circle using an old lid, and then I applied black texture paste over the aperture. I've then sprinkled the texture paste with clear embossing powder, and then I've let that dry completely, and now I'm going to melt the embossing powder. And this will give it a raised, glossy appearance. I don't know if you can see that on camera. So we now have the texture paste, and that's all glossy. I've then applied a distress marker, Vintage Photo, and scribble just around the circle and around the shape, just in a random fashion. Apply some to the edges of the card. And then we'll just activate that with water, just to blend the colour out. Obviously the darker colour will remain around the edges, so it highlights the circle. And if you want to add more colour, you can just do that by applying more with the pen. Touch more water. And I think I'll add more pen around the edges and around the edge of the circle, just to add a bit more definition. And then we dry that with the heat tool. Try not to go too close to the embossing that we've done earlier, just so that that doesn't affect that, so that it doesn't sort of go back to being flat. And then if we add a few drops of flicked water to the background, and I'll just reach some kitchen towel. Let the water activate the distress ink, and then just dab that dry. As you can see, it adds a few blotches to the background. Then add a touch of water to the background of the circle. And then take an acrylic block and we'll apply squeezed lemonade, twisted citron and evergreen bow. And we'll just add that to the inside area of the circle. Try not to go too close to the brown so that that doesn't come into the centre of the circle. Blending the colours together as you go. Touch more squeezed lemonade. And you just go around continuing to add the colour until you're happy with the depth that you've got, or the vibrancy. I love these three colours together. Try the heat tool again. And then if you want to add more colour, you can. I think I'll just add a bit more of the twisted citron. Right. Then place the mesh stencil over the background. I'm using Vintage Photo ink, and apply the ink randomly over the stencil. Apply some there. Maybe a touch more there, just so it's different from the first card. Then we take a background stamp, any background stamp, and use it as is. Don't apply it to an acrylic block, because this makes random stamping a lot easier. And then just add some stamping randomly around the background. Okay. I then decided that I wanted to add touches of gesso around the edge of the card, just to give a different texture and a few highlights to the card. In a way, it sort of adds to that aged feel because it mutes the colour in the background. Just a few touches. And if we had a touch more Vintage Photo just around here, where we can see the bird, and just activate that so that we've got no white areas. That's better. And then I've stamped a sentiment, Timeless Moments, and I've coloured that again with the Vintage Photo Distress marker, and I will add that there. And then once that's completely dry, because obviously I've wet it quite a bit, I will then mat that onto a piece of black card. Thanks very much for popping by. Bye.